You're tuning into Kingdom Wealth Builders, sponsored by a Better You podcast with your host and financial educator, Anthony McFarland, helping people to achieve financial stability and financial freedom by making the appropriate financial decisions about investing, savings, insurance, managing debt, protecting your home, children's education, and helping you plan your future retirement while building family legacy and generating generational wealth. No wealth, no wealth, no wealth, no wealth, no wealth. Welcome to a Better You podcast. Welcome to this YouTube live stream. Excited to be with you. Are you thinking about buying or selling a house during a recession? If you are, whichever party you are, you don't want to miss this. You know, just hearing the word recession is enough to make potential home buyers and almost everyone else shudder. You know, why is that? Because the most recent recession in 2008 was devastating to the real estate industry. You know, sales plummeted, homes went into foreclosure, and the market in general spun into chaos. But buying a home during a recession, as we learned back then, can lead to a great deal if you're savvy. You can actually win, and we're going to talk about that in this in today's show. You know, the 2008 recession and housing market crash showed how closely the economy is actually tied to home prices. I don't know if you've been listening to the news, but all this week, they've been talking about how now with inflation and taxes, how it is now affecting the housing industry, mortgages, credit cards, car loans, all of these things. While most consumers are worried about how long each surge and recession will last and how bad it will get, hear me. If we're thinking of buying a home, you might have another concern, and it may not be the concerns that you think. You know, some questions are, hey, should I risk trying to buy during a recession or flip during a recession? We're going to answer those questions. You're going to receive wisdom in today's program. Well, why? Because we're going to tell you the truth. You know, we'll tell you everything you need to know about how recessions affect the real estate industry and whether you should be buying a house during a recession or flipping a house or selling a house. We're going to talk about it right here with my special guest. I'll be right back. Again, welcome back to this podcast and live stream. As always, I'm excited to be with you. My guest today is Mr. Geoff Gil. Yes, Mr. Geoff Gil. As a partner and VP of sales for Dwell California Real Estate and Investments, Geoff Gil leads a dynamic team that represents buyers and sellers. So that's good news. And he has over 15 years of experience in the real estate industry. He focuses on a variety of aspects of the company, from marketing to sales to making sure their customer service is par none, as he services both everyday people as well as celebrities. We've been knowing each other at this point, man, for over, 25 years. Yeah. I was aware of him before we met because we were both in the entertainment industry. And so I'm just honored to call him a brother and a friend and you know, and I'm your pastor. Wow, look at there. Hey, how you doing, man?
A lot of things going there. Hey, you know, I'm blessed and highly favored, as are you. And I just want to thank you for having me here, man. I've been hearing about this show and this full head of steam that you've got going, and it's growing and it's good. People need this information, and I just applaud you for making this effort to reach out and care for people as you always do.
Thank you so much. As a financial educator now, licensed professional in the financial industry, for the past 18 years, Geoff, one of the biggest components to our ministry has been not just ministering to people's spirits, and building them up spiritually, but ministering to the whole man. And so for the past 18 years, I've been an advocate for financial literacy by bringing professionals in every year and having seminars and having speakers at conferences. Why? To empower people's spirit, their soul, their body, their finances, so that we can be wealth builders and not consumers. But with that being said, as we are experiencing all-time inflation, and have officially entered a recession, what would you say is the number one thing people need to be conscious of doing and not doing in this nationwide recession?
Well, first, let me say this: I'm a real estate broker, right? And I'm not a financial advisor. So I just want to make that clear. So anything that's said on this is my disclaimer. Giving you my professional opinion based on what I see. Okay, so there's a lot going on. Everyone's shouting recession, 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 right? So, what are the things that are going to be different? We're going to see a tightening, if you will, a tightening just across the board. But the one thing that remains constant that I'm always looking at is we have to make money. We have to continue to go bring in new dollars, right? And everyone has their reserves put away. They have their investments. They have their home. They have, all the things that go along with that, annuities or whatever you may have. But you have to go out and make new money. For a lot of us, it's week to week. A lot of Americans are making money every week, and they're bringing that money home and chopping it up and buying dinner and going out. But now you have to think about that. You can't stop, and you can't be so moved that you're watching, the paralysis of analysis happen. Right?
Yes.
You're paralyzed, going, what am I going to do? I'm looking at my finances, and so I think the first thing I'd say is keep moving. Keep moving, and don't get caught up so much watching what's going on, watching the show. Make your own show. If you've got some dreams, if you've got some goals, if you've got some endeavors that you've been putting off, you can't afford to put them off. And this is a reality check where you're going to say, wow, I was thinking about becoming this, or I was thinking about becoming that. Right. And if I had already been doing that, right. Now you've got the motivation. And really, we have to just continue because God wants us to prosper. So
that's right.
So that's that's the first thing I would say. Secondly, you have to look at debt. You have to figure out what debt you're carrying, and is that necessary debt? What are your spending habits? What's your monthly budget? Are you exceeding that budget every month? Those are things that you have to be concerned with. Right. Just off the top, and I mean, we can also talk real estate. So.
Well, that's what I brought you on the show for. So let's jump into it, because I know there's a lot of people that need to hear what you have to share. What does this recession mean for homeowners and those who want to sell a home? What does that mean for homeowners and those who want to sell their house? What's the pros and cons right now?
Well, hey, the pros is, hey, look, things are going to go up, things are going to go down, right? When everything's rising, everything's rising. The amount that you're going to profit on selling your home is going to go up. The people that were selling their homes in the last 6 months, year, 2 years, they're seeing great profits, but where they're going, the home costs more too. So there is a sense of relativity that's in there. So if we start to see a pullback, it's going to be relative too. What's good for the goose is also good for the gander. So you'll see prices go down. Maybe you net less, right? But you're buying lower as well. So it's like, yes, that means something. I do not want to belittle it. It means something.
Right. Because as of this week,
right,
all individuals who wanted to sell their home where it was a seller's market and they were in the advantage seat, I like to say.
right.
They got a revelation the past 24, 48 hours that the equity isn't quite there, and you can't ask any old crazy price you want for your property and think it's going to sell now.
Well, I
although my wife, not to cut you off, my wife believes that if we were to sell right today, this day, we'd get top dollar for it. But yeah,
people that were thinking of selling haven't sold, and now maybe they should have entered the market a long time ago. But you have to look at what their goals are, right? So anytime we work with a client, I'm like, what's your goal? Are you attempting to time the market, to get out and do something else with your nest egg? And if that's where you are in life, if you're facing retirement and this was, where you're going to leave and maybe move out of state, buy something cash or whatever your plans may be, then you have to act accordingly. You have to, time is of the essence for you. But if you're a buyer, a homeowner, and you plan on staying in this house for 20, 30 years, 15, 10, 20, 30 years like that, it doesn't affect you the same way.
Right.
You're still going to pay your note, right? You're still going to live there. There's still going to be walls. It's still going to be your house, right? And you're going to keep making money, and you're going to see time through, right? So you look at what you bought 15 years ago and what it costs now. There's no reason to suggest that we're going to drop back to prices of 1975. Right?
That's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen. If it does, I'm buying. I'll take 13 houses.
Right.
So I'll take them and take my lumps where they fall. Right. So, but for the short-term buyer, that's what we're concerned about. So somebody who wants to buy a house right now and say, hey, I'm hoping that it's going to go up and I'm going to refinance this house and pull some money out in 2 years because they think it's a piggy bank. Well, those days are gone. Those days went out in 2000 as well. So we had a lot of buyers that got into the marketplace when people got in trouble before because of adjustable rate mortgages. And there are very, very few adjustable rate mortgages right now. The 30-year fix is the strongest product out there. It's a 30-year fixed mortgage. It's not going to go up in 5 years. They're not even really using the 5-1 ARM, the fixed 5, 7, or 10-year fixed loan. That's not a product that's frequented by a lot of buyers right now. So, what's your goal? Are you buying someplace to make a piggy bank? Well, maybe this isn't the market for you, right? If you're going to spend time in the market, you're going to see that's going to be better for the long run. Everything comes back. There's the adage that a rising tide floats all boats. And, when things go down, things go down. As things rise back up, you're going to be right back to where you were. Question is, can you stem the tide? Which takes us back to the first question that you gave me. What should people be doing right now? And that's making more money, spending less money, paying off your debt.
That's good. So I had someone ask me this past week, a client was sharing with me that they want to buy a home. They're actually in Texas. They want to buy a home, but should they wait? Should they try to do it now or wait until the end of this year to buy a home based on interest rates increasing? Of course, now we just heard the announcement as a result of inflation. The federal commissioner, I think, just added a 3% increase, interest rate increase to all mortgages, car loans, credit card, credit card loans, those sort of things. So should people wait, another 4, 5, 6 months to the end of this year to see how, what's going to happen with the interest rates, or is like now the time? And of course, it's been said that it's turning now, so it should be a buyer's market. Speak to people about that.
Well, I don't think there's a one size fits all answer to that question. When we work with a buyer or seller, we have to look at what their objectives are. And let me explain what that means. So for someone who's thinking they're going to wait, they're looking to buy a home right now and they have the means to do so, I think it would be a mistake to wait. Because if things got better, then they missed out, right? If things got worse, they're buying a home for their family where they're going to stay. So the questions are, do you like it? Can you afford it? And are you there to see it through? Right?
Yeah.
So, I could ask a different buyer other questions. I mean, if you're there for a short term and you're looking to just get in and get out, but then maybe it's not your turn, right? So, there are a lot of factors. It's a case by case basis. I wouldn't have a blanket thing to tell everyone to wait. That's not okay for buyers or sellers. So we just have to look at people, and when they come to Dwell California Real Estate, what we do is we look at you, we assess your finances, we assess your ability to pay, we assess what your goals are for your family. A home is a place where your family is going to be, and that's not lost on us. This is where you're going to raise your kids, where your memories are going to be, and if you can afford it, what difference does it make really what you pay for it at that given time? People talk about the prices going up and having a profit or a equity position. But what they don't realize is that you're paying the house down every time you make a note. Okay, and you've got interest deductions to consider that are going to take off the amount that you're going to pay Uncle Sam at the end of the year, because you've got a mortgage interest deduction. And that's pretty significant, especially as the interest rates go up, right? As the interest rates go up, your mortgage interest goes up. So, there's a way to make things fit. But I think that when we're talking about home buying, let's not lose the word home. This is where home is going to be for you.
Okay, there's a lot of people. That's very good, insightful. There are a lot of individuals who have been trying to get into the buying and flipping industry. Mm-hmm. And there's people out there selling all kind of programs on teaching you how to buy and flip. Can you speak on, is this a good time to flip?
Wow. Now, traditionally in a recession, it's expected that there will be foreclosures. It's expected that there will be people who maybe have overextended themselves. And sadly, that may be true. That may hold to be true. In times like this, when the cost of money goes up and the cost of goods is coming down, this is a feast for those that have cash. So cash all of a sudden becomes king.
King, yeah.
Maybe they're buying a property cash, but they're not paying that high rate. They're buying it all cash. So they're getting in a good solid position, and they can leverage that and make moves. So for flippers, you're going to start to see more investors that are going to come into the marketplace looking for value, looking to make a profit of maybe 10 to 30, 40% on the dollar, which doesn't exist right now. I'll say that again. Here in Los Angeles, it's not there, right?
Yeah.
But in other markets, throughout the country, you are finding wider margins. But we'll just have to watch it as time goes on. That expectation is out there that there will be. But I was reading a few months ago about 7 reasons why there will not be this housing crash that everybody's talking about. And I think my business partner, which I want you to have him on the show,
okay,
because he's on the mortgage end and he's an expert on this. But a lot of the mortgage products that everyone got after the crash, these are really qualified buyers. This is not back in the day you could sign your name on on an application and you could just kind of state how much money you made, and they just gave you an approval. And people were buying homes, 500,000, $1 million, whatever it was. And there was a lot of manipulation, and that's what got us into trouble. But since then, after the Obama years and all the regulations they put in place, these are real borrowers. They're qualified.
Yeah, qualified.
2 years of tax return, solid employment, that has to be verified. There's, you know, if there's manipulation, hey, it's at a very minimal, if there's any of that. So you can't fudge the books. You can go to jail for doing it, right? So all these buyers are qualifying on their net income, okay, their gross income, but they're looking at what their ability is to repay these loans. So, you know, I think that's a solid product, but there are other reasons. There's not the adjustable rate mortgages where you got in and you're paying a fraction of what your actual payment's going to be, and it's going to balloon up in a minute. So there are a lot of other factors in this that where, you know, maybe we're not going to have this big gigantic meltdown. You know,
it's good news,
even though it may look melt-like.
Right.
It may not melt down the way that you think it's going to be, right? And we've got a lot of new households where people are living now. You've got elderly moving in with their children. You've got children that normally would move out. They're staying in. They've got the new ADUs where you've got the extra unit on the property for more income for people, so they can afford their note that way. They're building value in these homes. So there are a lot of factors that play into it, but. I can't help but say it one more time. Time in the real estate market is better than trying to time the market. So if you can make a move now, let's make a move. And if it's the right thing to do after you get consultation from either myself or someone that's in this lane, then you can decide accordingly.
As you are the home sales expert, how does an individual prepare to sell their home?
You know, that's a big question. This is good stuff here. You know, if you've lived in a home for a long time, you love it, right? It's your place, and
there's an attachment.
Sellers, they're attached to their things. They want to show you, oh, look how I redid this wall here. Oh, this used to be, this bathroom was this way, but I made it that way. And you know, they are really proud of what they have, right? But if you look at the food chain and you go and look at brand new construction, you know, where they're building brand new homes and they're staged and you know, everything's in place, and you walk in and you're like, I want this one, right? The question is for us, how close can we make your house look like this? Because that's the top of the food chain. New construction sells itself. So and how do we depersonalize your house to where people walk in, they want to see themselves in a home. They don't necessarily want to see a lot of you. They want to see what's it going to be like when I.
They don't want to see Big Mama up on the wall and white Jesus with the curly hair.
Hey, come on, man. Hey, I'm not gonna point out, you know, personal effects.
I saw that in a movie, but anyway.
Yeah, I'm not gonna point out personal effects or disparage anyone for having, you know, Big Mama on the wall. But if Big Mama's gonna be there and she's not at new construction, I'm just gonna put it in front of you and say, this is what sells fast. And how does your home compare? And people have to make a decision, and we help them arrive at that decision. But showing them all the opportunities where they can declutter, you know, have space. You want it to smell great. You want it to be clean. You want to redo some things if you want to sell fast. I think it's going to sell quickly and for a higher price if it's properly prepared. And we help all of our sellers do that. But yeah, everyone thinks their home is perfect, and a lot of them are. Right. But some of them need a little love and some guidance, and we provide that here as well.
That's awesome. You're hearing from the expert. So with that in close, you know, earning money from a publicly owned real estate investment trust, a REIT, is like earning money from stocks. What are your thoughts about investing in REITs? If I believe I'm saying it correctly. And for those who may not know what a REIT is, it's where you receive dividends from the profits of the company, you know, real estate investment company, and can, you know, sell your share at a profit when their value in the marketplace increases. What's your thoughts on investing in those?
You know, I'm not personally invested in a REIT, but it is of interest. You're going to have to look at that like any other security that you want to get involved in. You know, you want to know the contents of that. What are the properties? What are what are the holdings of this company, right? What's the landscape look like for the real estate market? Is this something where you're getting in at the right time? Are things rising? Is the rental market strong? Because a lot of them are based on renters paying their monthly their monthly rent
Overhead, right?
Sure that it's coming in on time. There are a lot of factors. I mean, you have to look at it like any other security, whether you're buying a stock or a mutual fund, and every investment is going to have its ups and downs. They're all going to face their headwinds, and they're all going to face their heydays. They're great times. So, is it a good investment? Hey, real estate has been the king for so many years. I mean,
Yeah.
millionaires and billionaires have made their money in real estate, from Dr. Jerry Buss to the former President Donald Trump. It's been real estate which has pushed them forward, and so it's always good to take a look at that and have a diversified set of investments for anyone. So if you're going to put all your eggs in one basket, we don't advise that, but it's good to have an allocation of some of your dollars, your investment dollars, in a REIT. That's
Outstanding. Well, the people have heard it. I appreciate you sharing your knowledge with our audience as it pertains to buying and selling your home in this onslaught of this recession. I really appreciate you and the Dwell team there. Your partner, you guys.
You got to have my partner come on, Pastor. You got to have him come on.
We'll set it up for 2 weeks, and
He's
next 2
chomping at
weeks
the
we'll
bit
get you back on.
He's chomping at the bit to drop knowledge, and it's just to uplift our people. We just want everybody.
That's what it's about, and we're on that same page, empowering our people, empowering our communities, so that we can understand how to not only build legacy, but also create generational wealth. And a great way that that's done is through real estate. And that's why individuals like yourselves are much needed, because you're not selfish. You're really, one of the things that I can say about you, Geoff, and your partner, from what I've observed, is that your heart is to make sure that the people get what they need, and you're not selling them something that's going to benefit you.
I'm going to tell you, we've been successful in business, this company, for like 9 years, and we started this company on, just the two of us, and we've grown to having 30 agents. We've got 6 loan officers. We're providing both ends of the spectrum. But our thing is always to give a high level of community service, customer service, and just to care about your needs. And if it's not right for you, we don't do it, right?
Yeah.
If it makes sense, we do it. If it's right, if we can transact right now, let's do it. If we have to put it off for a couple of years, we'll still be here, but we'll advise you. And I'm a bit of a comedian sometimes, so I'll just go ahead and throw it in here. We're not here to beat you or cheat you. We're here to treat you, right? We're not here to shake you or fake you.
I love it.
We're here to make you. We're not here. Okay, I'll stop. But but you get the idea. And really caring about it's not lost on us that this is the largest purchase that anyone will ever make, probably the largest check they'll ever get if they're selling their house. And we have to care. If we do a good job, and we make a living.
Yeah, it's interesting. You talked about being a comedian. I just yesterday met with a celebrity comedian, and was doing a financial review, sharing some strategies with him. And he already had some policies and things in place. Mm-hmm. And after, I did the analysis with him. I told him, hey, here are some things that you need to go back and speak to, your agent about your policies, this investment vehicle, because there are some question marks here. And so when I got finished, he said, so are you going to charge me, or you got something to sell? I said, no, I don't have nothing to sell you. It's about making sure that you have what you need, And your vision and your strategy for building family legacy and your retirement is solid. It's not about me trying to sell you something or give you something that's going to benefit me. I'm here to help you build a better, future. So, it's about the people, and it's about, just making sure that, people win in life. So again, I appreciate you. Thank you for joining me this week, and we'll schedule to have you back in about 2 weeks, and then your partner can come on and he can drop all those gems that he's been holding back from the world. We'll have him on the platform.
We've got to give it all to them. Give it all to the people. But thank you for having me.
Listen, man, God bless you, the family, and multiplied success and business in this next season. Till the next time. Appreciate you.